Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Mimi, aka the Piscean Seer, and this is one of your daily collective messages. Like, and subscribe if you get anything out of this. Thank you so very much to those of you who do like, subscribe, and comment. It is always and forever going to be loved and appreciated. God, archangels, ancestors, ascended masters, cosmic guides, all beings of the highest and purest white light only, with the best interest of me and the collective at heart. You are always and forever welcome into my readings, okay? Please give my wonderful, fabulous, and amazing Piscean Seer family the best and most accurate information for them at this time. Hello, my beautiful Star Seer family. Welcome to any new subscribers, okay? Welcome to my beautiful subscribers who are already here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Thank you so very much for coming, and thanks for coming back. I don't know, I'm in a good mood, okay? You could be in a really good mood, okay? There was something else I was gonna tell you, but I forgot, okay? So this is an Archangel Michael message, okay? Yeah, let's see. What's the overall energy? I'm not working out of the book today. Oh, but Justice was at the bottom of the deck. I'm not working out of the book today, okay? Spirit was just like, yeah, we need you to do some other readings, okay? So Ancestors and Archangel Michael. I seen Archangel Michael on like a sign for a tire shop. It said Archangel Michael, okay? Like clear clear as day. And it was like Archangel Michael. I was like, okay, so you're around. You know, I thought it was just around because I was out. But then this morning, because I was going to do 2 ancestor messages, but then this morning he was like, you know, like I want to do one too, basically, you know. So there's some beautiful justice coming in for you. You could be receiving a lot of illumination at this time, okay? We got love child, okay? You could be about to have some sort of love child with someone, okay? You could be attracting a new lover. I feel like you're stepping deeper into your truth, discovering much more about yourself, really embracing the different awakenings that are coming into you at this time, okay? And that's really good. Archangel Michael is helping you a lot when it comes to like creating your heaven on earth, okay? Just ignore this little line. I got some eyeliner on it not too long ago. I tried to wipe it off, but that's the best I got, okay? But you're creating your heaven on earth, and Archangel Michael is helping you to do that, you know? So if you're called to some deep replenishment, some time off, or whatever it is that you're called to do, however you're called to like love yourself or take care of yourself at this time, I would definitely recommend that you do that. Archangel Michael's asking you not to dim your light at all, not even a little bit, not even the tiniest little bit. Not for a near bitch, okay? You better shine, shine, shine so bright at this time, because you're not meant to fit in, okay? You're meant to be beautiful, expansive, amazing, a lot of different versions of yourself throughout your journey. So please keep that thing going. You're in this priestess type of energy, and Archangel Michael just wants you to have really strong boundaries at this time, and to pay a little bit more attention to where you could stand to establish some better boundaries, some stronger boundaries with people, and paying a lot of attention to how you're being called to step up and lead, or what things you're being intuitively called to do or try or entertain at this time. And that includes people, is what I heard, you know. We also got the Magician right here, kind of poking out under here. We got the Anomaly right here, because the energy at the bottom of the deck is very cute for you, okay? You are an anomaly, baby. Very special, beautiful, unique, and amazing. And Archangel Michael is with you, working with you at this time. Try not to be so resistant to the divine or to your guidance. Don't question yourself so much. You're amazing, okay? You're holding this beautiful energy of creativity, very strong sacral chakra. You're being called to action, to flex your power and to use it to manifest the things that you want. It says skills, magic, and work. It says self-employment, and it says a smooth talker, okay? So you could be very well spoken. I feel like you have the gift of gab. You could pretty much talk yourself into or out of any situation that you want to be in or that you don't want to be in. I seen 414, okay? You're very blessed, okay? You have many beautiful divine gifts. It says having the gift of gab. I didn't notice that, okay? It says willpower, directing your will, creative visualization, and manifesting your desires, okay? So this is what Archangel Michael is helping you to do, wanting you to stay focused on this sunny, positive type of energy, and to continue to go away from any heartbreak or any pain or anything that might burden you at this time, you know? Or you could have recently gone through a tower, or you could be going through a tower right now, okay? I know I did. I just went through like this really emotional tower, you know. But it was all a part of like that energy that was coming in, you know, the sturgeon moon, stirring up certain emotions and things that needed to be purged, needed to be released. I feel so much better too, you know. And so just take that time to purge and release anything that you don't need at this time, okay? Because it's very, very important. There is more harmonic resolutions coming into you, coming into your life. This utopia energy going right along with that heaven on earth energy, you know. A lot of peace, a lot of serenity, and this feeling of living in paradise. But it's all up to you. It's all up to you to release any anger, any negativity, and really transmute that energy and to have hold that peace within you so that your reality can match that, you know. And then we got the solar portal, you know, focusing more on that confidence, and the sacral portal. Your confidence and your creativity, highly important at this time, okay? So focus on those things. Have multiple times or a lot of time of intimacy with the self, you know. This will make you feel more connected to oneness, make you feel less alone if you've been feeling like you're doing things alone, you know, more tapped into a more balanced and patient type of energy. So when it does come to like your business moves or anything that you're trying to accomplish, it'll be much easier for Archangel Michael to help you to accomplish those things and to make sure that you're seeing things clearly when it comes to your destiny, your destined path, what you're supposed to do, which way you're supposed to walk in, all of that, you know, your divine purpose, your passion, and your service to humanity, baby. So, so important. Yeah, see, we got the isolation with loneliness, okay? I knew I was feeling that kind of lonely energy. You could be going through a time of like reconnection at this time after a period of feeling kind of lonely. Okay. But how are you seeing their energy though? Because the ancestor message was long as hell for no reason. But it felt really good to me. So we got the Six of Swords, okay? So, and the Eight of Pentacles, okay? So this is gorgeous, okay? So at this time, Archangel Michael and the Knight of Platinum, okay? Or the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So there's something very beautiful coming into you, okay? A nice time where you can spend time in some calm waters, you know? You could be someone who has a side hustle, you know, like maybe you do Uber Eats or you do something else where you like, because I do Instacart, you know, you might do something like that, you know, or just any side hustle. You could have two jobs. That's just the point, you know. You have your job that you do to bring in money or to, you know, increase the money that comes in, and you have your job that maybe is your destiny, your divine journey, the thing that you do with your heart, you know what I mean, that you really would like to see go further. You would like to see it bring you financial support, but you would do it even if you never receive financial support from it. You know, I feel like your wishes are coming true. That thing that you wish to see grow to the point where you don't need that side hustle anymore, it will be making that growth, okay? There could be some sort of like legal matters going on. You could be going through a divorce, or you could have recently went through a divorce. You could be about to receive some sort of property from some sort of divorce, okay? It says criminal paternity, okay? So like your baby daddy or your baby mama could be getting arrested for child support, or somebody could have like a lot of outstanding traffic tickets and they could be about to go to jail to like pay that off, to pay off some sort of debt, okay? But let's get back to your energy. I don't know how we got over there, but I'm just saying what I hear, okay, or what I see, okay? So the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you've been working really hard to like perfect your craft, to perfect yourself, to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be. Like that is your real true intentions underneath it all. I'm hearing that song, underneath it all, but I don't know the words to that. I think that's Gwen Stefani, okay? But anyways, you've been working really hard perfecting your energy. We got the Five of Pentacles. You come in from the cold. You've dealt with some sort of really big shadow energy, and then he's showing us the sun again, okay? Really big things coming into you, really big accomplishing. Okay, so accomplishing really big personal goals is what he's saying, okay, with the Three of Cups and the Seven of Cups, okay, or the starships, the Three of Starships and the Seven of Starships. There's a time of celebration coming in because of the way that you've been like aligned spiritually, okay, a lot of options and opportunities opening up to you with the world, okay, as a reward for you closing out some sort of cycle, maybe a cycle where you were thinking a lot or you had a lot lot of things going on, maybe some sort of new contract, some sort of new opportunities, could even be like a new spiritual contract that's coming into you at this time that's going to bring in a lot more stability, and with the Four of Cloaks, a lot more happiness, and also it's going to change a lot about the way that you stand your ground. Okay, we got the Ace of Cloaks too. Okay, so some sort of beautiful new passionate beginning coming in that's going to be very, 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 very protected. Okay, it might be bringing in a lot of confusion to the people on the outside of you, but with the Nine of Wands, I think you're really sick and tired of thinking about how people on the outside of you think about you. But I mean, I think with the Six of Wands or the Six of Cloaks, you're kind of underestimating the way that people on the outside of you see you. Okay, like they see you as beautiful, as amazing, as wonderful, as like the best thing that they ever did see, right? And you know, I feel like people kind of put off a different vibe sometimes when you're around them. You know, it's more of an energy of envy, an energy of hate, a nasty type of energy, right? But it's just because of the way that they see you in such an amazing light, you know. So don't feel like, you know, people don't see you. Like some people, they're just blind and they're unable to see, period. They don't see themselves, or they don't see a lot of things. But I think I've seen 1111 when it comes to you. It's very intuitive the way that they feel about you, because their soul recognizes that beautiful power within you, you know. Yeah, with the Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Starships, I feel like you're very compassionate, very loving, very beautiful. You refuse to like have conflict going on with other people at this time, and you're just saying no altogether to the energies of sadness and despair, and that is attracting a lot of beautiful things towards you, a lot of ships coming in with the Ace of Swords. Okay, you are this amazing leader, and you're about to get real active in the community, or you know, a lot more active in the community if you're already very active in it, you know. You're given like a philanthropist type of energy. Like maybe you're about to be very rich, you know, to the point where like you don't really have to do nothing. You just kind of like go around going to parties and you know, events, and donating money and just enjoying nice dinners and shit like that. Like, that's really the energy that I'm getting. Okay, like rich. Okay, I'm here, rich bitch. Rich bitch. I hate rich bitch. Yes, she did. Okay, like you are about to be rich, and I think that you're attracting a little bit of negative attention because of the way that you're advancing, or the way that you're growing, or the way that you're becoming something other than what people kind of know you to be. What's going on the outside of them that you're protecting them from? We got feeling like shit. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm already talking about. Okay, people feeling like shit because of the way that they've treated you, because of the way that they've handled you, and kind of like projecting these feeling like shit as thoughts toward you, but not on purpose. It's just a lot of people don't know their own power, you know. We got Firestorm. It says karma, drama, endings, loss, and mental breakdown. Okay, so on the outside of you, like people are receiving karma. Okay, like don't let the way that they look or the way that they act fool you. Okay, like they're feeling like shit and they're feeling the karma. They're getting their ass whooped spiritually, and they know why. Okay, it's not a secret why they under this firestorm type of energy. Like I feel like people feel like everything's crashing or tumbling down, but I think that they just have a loss of hope. You know, like somebody's feeling a loss of hope, or feeling like everything's going wrong because you're happily single, you're doing you could be dating, but the point is you're stress free, you're focused on your goals, and you're very career focused at this time, and that is just like bringing in a lot of karma for people. You can have someone interested in you in love, someone who might want to pop the question. Okay, but like I said, okay, with this illumination energy, you're discovering more of your truth, more of your power, you're awakening like over and over again, and it's really beautiful. I feel like you could be feeling very secure, very confident, feeling like a boss bitch, or you know, I don't know, a boss man or whatever. You're feeling like, you know, the boss, period. Very career focused again. Okay, so So whatever it is that you're focused on as far as your career, I feel like it's the right thing for you to be focused on. You could question that sometime, you know. You could have somebody blocked at this time, okay? They doing love spells, okay? They ashamed, they feeling guilty, they embarrassed, they know they wrong, okay? People know they in the wrong. This could be someone you had a love child with in the past. Thank you, Archangel Michael, and they're just not happy. They feel like your happiness is bad news, and they could be thinking about coming around to sweet talk you, okay? Because they're losing sleep and they feel like you have spiritual gifts or healing energy that could help them. But they're feeling worried. People could be replaying events about you or things that they went through, experiences they had with you in the past, you know, the way that they talked to you, the way that they dealt with you, the way they was off and on, hot and cold, detached, you know what I mean? The way they was like trying to ghost you or whatever. I feel like now you're about to run into this beautiful twin flame who's going to send you a lot of love and to support you spiritually in a way that you've never been supported by anyone in your life. You know, it's not going to be no love-hate shit, and you've released a lot of karmic ties, you know, like there's no more reckless love, no more empty sex. And I think there's a lot of people who you've seen their true colors who are fucked up over you because you're not willing to entertain them in that way. So it's like they're not getting to still have you in their energy like maybe they thought they would, and it's just like too bad, you know. It's just a little too bad. It's just a little too late. What's that? Oh, you know, it's just too little too late. Who is that? Is that Demi Lovato? I don't think so. It might be. But it might be JoJo. Not JoJo Siwa, the other JoJo. So we got break the chain, okay? So you've broken some sort of chain with these people on the outside of you who are going through all of this karma, you know. You've really done a great job of healing, and you've sort of like rewritten your future that I think other people kind of like thought that they had written for you. Like I think people pretty much thought, you know, your story was like, you know, open and shut. Like it was an open and shut case with you. Like they pretty much knew what to expect or what you was going to do or how far you were going to go in life. But I feel like they're dead wrong about you. I feel like you've definitely stepped out of this cage of persecution. There's nothing wrong with your throat chakra. You communicate things very clearly for people to hear and understand, and you're not really like coddling them or babying them or walking them into the understanding of you anymore. You're just like, I said what the fuck I said, so either you're gonna pick up what I'm putting down or you're just gonna leave it right there and you're gonna walk the other way because you have no, you know, no real need or no real desire to understand me or where I'm coming from, you know. You've been seeing a lot of light and laying the proper foundations for yourself, and now you really truly are walking and following this divine plan, and it's just so great, okay? Archangel Michael is protecting the shit out of you throughout this entire process, okay? But more about this boundaries, you know, he's really serious about you making sure that your boundaries is intact. I feel like with all of these hands, you know, there are a lot of people who wish to have access to you, access to your energy, access to your gifts, you know, like they really want to operate out of your energy, and that's why they're receiving karma in the first place, you know, because they feel like shit about themselves. They really don't like that you're operating out of this kind of energy, and you're being very protected from that. So just focus on where it is you need to establish those better boundaries and do that. Put them into place, and you'll kind of notice people like falling by the wayside or just kind of going away because you have that boundary intact now, or because you have, you know, solidified that boundary a little bit more. I feel like you're going through some sort of initiation coming out of a time where things have seemed very dark or gloomy, or where you just really didn't really understand where you were going or what direction the divine was taking you in. I'm hearing evidence. I feel like the angels are bringing in a lot of evidence to like corroborate the story that you think is right and about what you have going on or where it is that you're meant to be going. You know what I mean? Like they want to bring you evidence, to bring you proof more than just, you know, these spiritual nudges or these divine messages. They're ready to bring in 3D manifestations for you to really see what has been going on and why all of the things have happened up until this point the way that they've happened, you know? Like, I feel like you're in for a time of like really big epiphanies, okay? So when it does come to like people trying to, you know, pull on your energy or pull on your time, like, it's okay to continue to just say no, to have that time to yourself, to enjoy being happily single, you know, even if you're like, even if happily single just gets at your independence, you know, because you don't necessarily have to be single for this to resonate with you. But I think it's important for you to take that time to say no while you're going through these initiations or while you're going through this transformation, so that you can receive more light from the divine and you'll be able to seed it more properly and to continue to break those ancestral patterns that aren't serving you or your bloodline, okay? You've been training for this for lifetimes and you're doing such a great job doing it, whether you feel like you are or not. Let's anagram Mother of Jesus and share your voice. We got protection, okay? So big emphasis on that protection. Whatever you do that involves sharing your voice or the divine plan that has been laid out for your life, it is perfect for you, like I said. So cut any cords, call back your power, do some soul retrieval, you know, focus on centering yourself and aligning yourself and grounding this energy, connecting with the light, doing breathing exercises, trying different meditations and all of these different things that work for you. Those are the best things when you're working through a transformation, because you're really getting that guidance and you're getting like this one-on-one treatment, like directly from angels and ancestors and cosmic guides, and it's just so great and I love it. You know, I love working so closely with spirit, and it really is such a good thing for you, and the more you do it, the better you get at it and the better you feel. Let's share your voice and boundaries. We got Star Mother. It says, how can you mother yourself, okay? So, you know, just going, this is that energy of mothering yourself, you know, connecting with the divine, with that beautiful divine feminine energy that all of our angels and guides and ancestors carry, right? And mothering yourself, loving yourself, nurturing yourself into the best possible version of you, so that you can reach out and spread out that compassion and that love to help others. You know, that's really just like the whole point. What's boundaries and the initiation? We got trust your path, okay? Like I said, with that solar plexus and sacral chakra energy that I pulled out of this deck over here, you know, have a lot of confidence in your path and the things that you do and the ways that you move, the reason why you do what you do, because it ain't ever for no reason, okay? It says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do, you know? So, and then get started doing those things is what I heard, you know. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Like, give that some thought, because you are supported in every single thing that you do. It's just all about you taking the right steps practically into 3D to make those things happen for you, you know. Sometimes you just have to put yourself in position. You don't have to like do all of these big things, you know. You just have to put yourself in position and continuously pump out your creative energies, and you'll see that thing grow, you know. He's saying, if you build it, they will come, you know. If you build it, people will always come. They'll always come to witness what you have built or what you have created, or to receive the energetic healing that they can receive from whatever it is that you build or that you're meant to put out for them. Oh, he got a lot to say. What's the initiation and no, okay? We got dance with life, okay? But also don't forget that this thing is something that's meant to be enjoyed, okay? And the energy of joy, the energies of love, the energies of gratitude, you releasing, even if you go through a hard time or your days suck for a couple of days or whatever, you know, as long as you come back to that love and you mother yourself and give yourself that love, and you get back to that place where you're like, I'm tripping. I know that this path is perfect for me because I'm walking it, you know. Come back to that energy is what he's saying. Always realign with the energy where everything is perfect, everything is good, and everything is going exactly how it should be going, you know. because it is like, even when in those moments that we perceive to be not perfect or to be shitty or to be a bad day, those are still right on track with where you should be going and what should be happening. So just don't doubt the things that you go through, and try to gain more understanding on it, rather than like, just, being like, forget this, forget it all, I don't want to do none of it, and I kind of feel like that's where the people on the outside of you are, because you had me like look over to this, I feel like the people that are fucked up over you, and feeling like shit, they're just kind of in this doom and gloom type of energy. They're not really happy when they're alone, and they don't really put in that much work in perfecting themselves or finding that calmer water for themselves. So of course they're gonna be hating a little bit, But sometimes even that time where people are hating you or people are having a problem with you is very significant in their life, because it gets them around to a place where they start to understand what you've been saying and doing all along, then they start to do it too. Like sometimes karmic copying can become a very divine way for people to get themselves out of where they are, to get to a better place where they trust their path and their mother and their self, and then they get the epiphanies and the understandings that their problems, their issues, or their quarrels with you were never really that serious, and it was all tied to something within themselves, and I think that that's what's going on kind of with the people around you. Like, they're starting to understand the method to your madness and why you are the way that you are, and that could be bringing you like a whole nother level of security with yourself, okay? Let's break the chain, the age of light, and Anna, grandmother. We got justice again, okay? So beautiful justice, beautiful balance entering into your life, a nice, calmer way of operating because you're working from the heart, and you being like this amazing teacher to the people on the outside of you, but you're like teaching these people through experience. You're teaching these people through every issue or every altercation or every negative thought that they try to have about you. You're teaching them. You're like taking them through like this rough crash course of how to attract their own justice and how to improve things in their life, And this, it says, I get what I give. And also, that's why your reality is starting to match you where you are. That could be why people are more understanding of you and giving you a little bit more leeway and understanding, because that's what you give. Like, you understand people, you understand where they are. You don't really judge them on their journey or their path. You just let them be who they are. And I think that that calls a lot of blessings into you. What's a grandmother of Yeshua, protection, and share your voice? We got the devil, okay? So it says, I am not a puppet, So I think that these people that are going through a lot of karma in the past, maybe they thought you were a puppet. They thought you could play with them, and because you were emotionally attached, you went along with some of the games, But I feel like you've been able to release a lot of things that made you feel like the need to people please, or the need to like understand these people or to help them or save them from feeling like shit. I think you're very aware that it's like up to them to build that connection that they have with God and to change their ways, and to stop like trying to get together to tear other people down and things like that, I feel like you make a huge example of why it's important to break away from tradition and to find a way of worship or a way of living your life that works specifically for you. You don't let anybody define you spiritually. And oh my gosh, your energy is just so beautiful. Like, the more that I talk, like, the better that I feel about this message, Like, I think you're really amazing, and you've been putting in a lot of hard work and effort to change how you used to be in the past, changing a lot of mentalities, like I said, ancestral patterns, breaking so many ancestral patterns that it's contagious, it's contagious to your bloodline and to the people around you. You could be noticing people like softening a little bit, coming out of those negative behaviors, even if they still have some of them, because of how accepting you are of them and how non-judgmental you are, Let's share your voice, star mother, and boundaries. We got the 7 of Wands with standing your ground, okay? this energy is helping you to stand up for what it is that you believe in. You know, it says standing up for beliefs, fighting your corner, protective, defensive, determined, challenging, opposing stamina, holding your own, taking the high road, maintaining control, and being territorial yet assertive, you know, but in a positive way. Like, I don't think you're not being overbearing. You refuse to fold on your beliefs or to give in and to admit defeat to all of the people who wish to tear you down. And that's what's keeping you so strong and standing so tall, okay? What's boundaries, trust your path, and the initiation. We got the Three of Wands, and that's also what's helping you to attract any and everything that you may need or want at this time, okay? You could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? Or an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That is in the overall energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn is really highlighted in the overall energy that came out for you. You could be any of those signs. You can have those signs highly aspected. But we got Libra, Capricorn, Leo, and Aries out here. That could also represent the people on the outside of you. We got the sun right here, okay? Because you're just in this energy of positivity, like you're so free, you know. And when it comes to red flags, I think you're amazing at spotting them, and you don't give them too much attention, you know. You have a lack of enthusiasm for anything that's negative or that isn't aligned with your true path that you're trying to walk down, and that also protects you a lot, okay? It says, I shine my light on the world around me, and my radiance attracts more success, period. Okay, we got the tower, okay, so that's why these people are experiencing these towers, you know, this time of chaos and destruction and of sudden upheaval, you know, being forced to deal with their trauma and forced to accept the unexpected changes that are going on around them, you know. Could be like feeling like, you know, the only thing that comes toward them is like disaster and loss and tragedy, you know, trying to work their way through their own confusion and pain, and, you know, trying to understand why they abused you or why they brought this violence to you in certain times or in certain ways, you know. Yeah, we got the burden, and then we got the Three of Swords, okay, with this heartbreak energy. I feel like some people are just simply heartbroken because you've created stronger boundaries, because you've come out of your cave, because you're letting your light shine, you know. That makes them feel overburdened and overloaded, and like they stress because they feel like they have a responsibility to show improve, because they feel like you're showing improving, you know, what you got and who you really are. And sometimes people need that kind of example, even if they're like, you know, a hater at first. And this is what he keeps stressing, you know, like sometimes, like, everybody had a moment in their life where they was hating, you know. Like it's kind of a human thing. It's something that we go through, especially when we're in that mentality of thinking like a child. And I think that these people that are getting karma, they were thinking like children, and you're kind of showing them that, like, you know, it doesn't matter your age. You could still be an immature child, and you could still have things that you need to learn, you know. And so I think, like, people are kind of questioning themselves now that they're feeling like shit, you know. They're looking at you like you're so unbound. You're like this ever unfolding rose, and everything always works out for you. But I think that you're just very aware that all of the things that happen in your life are happening for you and not to you. And you're willing to release those soul pattern and contracts and past lives that tell you you deserve a bunch of bullshit that you don't deserve, you know. And like in that way, you're being such a great example to these people. You really truly are like this amazing pillar of light, okay? You've answered this call, okay? Answer the call, and keeper of earth. You've answered this call to be a keeper of earth and to be a mirror for the rest of the collective. You know what I mean? It says who or what is triggering you on the mirror card, you know. So as a mirror, as an effective mirror, you trigger others sometimes in order to instigate growth or something that needs to happen within them. And I think that's why people are receiving a lot of karma, because it's like they've been very triggered by you, and now it's time for them to grow from those things, to understand why they've been triggered. And some people, to be quite honest, just get trapped right there where they get triggered and they never get over that, you know. But it definitely works on certain people. I've seen 3333 and 3334. What's foresight in the sun? We got the world, okay? So, period. A master of ending cycles. Okay, really meant to attract a lot of success and accomplishments to yourself. You could be about to be doing a lot more travel, and I think that like there's just certain things in your life, certain negative happenings, or certain times of heartbreak, or the times where you felt burdened that have come to completion, and that is the thing that's triggering other people's karma because they're no longer able to like attach to that energy within you, so you're just mirroring what they feel like they're not, you know, because they haven't discovered that within themselves. So keep doing what it is that you're doing, because you really help Archangel Michael a lot when it comes to breaking down other people's walls and barriers so that they can be communicated with, you know, by angels and guides and things like that, because we all have the ability to have that connection. But it's all about healing and discovering within yourself what is so amazing about you, or why you would ever be chosen to do something, you know. And some people just get the chance to come here with a higher awareness with that. It's just easier to get you to see that within yourself, or to get you down this path of healing. And some people have very stubborn souls and very stubborn energies that they're just really stuck in. They're stuck, you know. At the end of the day, they just don't know what to do or how to get out of that rut that they're stuck in. And sometimes they just say, fuck it, I'll just stay here forever because this is who I am, this how I am, and this is, you know. And it's just like, so you can have some very stubborn people around you that you have been charged with like teaching or being a positive example to. And this journey could have been kind of hard when it does come to these people that are getting karma at this time. Okay, it says what I've been working for is already done though. Okay, so it's like you've already planted the seeds that you needed to plant with these people, and they all had the choices of if they wanted to walk down a different path or not, and they chose to remain in that cycle that they're in. And there's not really much you can do when it comes to helping them embrace a cycle. That's something they have to choose to do on their own. So until then, they're going to be going through tower after tower and feeling burdened and feeling heartbroken until they bring that cycle to an end for themselves. For themselves is what I said, okay? Yeah, with the high priestess and the six of wands, period, and the temperance. This your energy, baby. This is where you at. And it's up to them to decide if they want to get up there and meet you where you at, okay? But I feel like when it comes to mysteries, you're really good. It says my inner knowledge is my best guide in all. You really follow your intuition and the guidance that Archangel Michael gives to you, and he really loves that about you, and it just makes him want to give you more. You get blessed with more insights, more knowing, and because you trust yourself to see those insights, and that in itself manifests more insights, more downloads, and more knowledge. You know, you've kind of proven that you can be trusted with this, you know. It says spiritual insight, emotional stability, divination, esoteric wisdom and knowledge, and things yet to be revealed. So there are still some things that necessarily you don't really know about these people that have been misusing their intuition and acting on bias or prejudice, you know, being very manipulative and having a lack of emotional control when it comes to you. There's still things you don't know about them yet, and their karma is going to make a lot more sense as you receive more esoteric knowledge and things like that from the divine, okay? The more you discover your truth, the more clearly you see the truth of the other people around you, okay? Whew, what else? What's Justice, the Tower, and the Devil? We got dominance, okay? So people are getting karma for trying to establish some sort of dominance over you so that they'll be able to use you as a puppet. Because remember, the devil card said, I'm not a puppet, you know. Like they thought they was going to be able to use you as some sort of puppet, but you receive warnings every single time, you know, because you love yourself, because you fight for what you believe in, because you stand up for your truth, and you are truly expressing the real truth of your truth, right? That kind of shit is very powerful, and it cannot be trifled with or messed with, you know. Like, don't underestimate the power of your will is what he's saying, okay? That's the Seven of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Wands. It says bond, okay? So I mean, it's going under the Three of Swords. So that makes me think about people that could have been trauma bonding to you in the past, and now that you've entered your sacred space, nobody can do that, but they're still kind of taking the risk to try to do that. They're still taking the risk of running into your protection, which is Archangel Micheal, which is just crazy, you know. But I feel like with the Seven of Wands and the Three of Wands, when it comes to like this bond that you have with the divine and the way that you guys communicate with each other, this is something that you really have solidified for yourself by just taking their advice and doing the different things that they call you to try. Like, they really love that your mind is open and you're willing to jump into different things that you don't necessarily understand yet, just to understand what they're trying to teach you. Like, they really love that, you know, because they can't always just like talk directly to us every time, you know, because even me, like, I can hear them so clearly sometimes, but sometimes it's just like, you know, like if my emotions are all over the place or I'm going through some sort of transformation, like sometimes they'll get like really, really quiet, you know, they'll get extremely quiet and I won't necessarily know or understand like what it is that they want me to do. I use my pendulum a lot, you know. But it's all a part of the process, and they always get to talking real loud eventually, right back again, you know. But it's like every time they do get quiet, I do feel like it advances more the way that I hear them, or the way that I understand, or the way that I'm able to like feel the feelings that they're trying to get me to feel, especially when it comes to this, you know. So just continue to work at your relationship with the divine, and like he was saying before, you know, meditations, grounding yourself, all of those different things, they improve your anti-Karana bridge and your connection that you have with your angels and guides, and it makes it much more clear about the people on the outside of you who are really feeling like shit, and where they really truly are within themselves and their heart, you know. What's the Three of Wands, the World, and the Sun? We got communication, okay? So you could be in for some increased communication when it does come to the divine, you know, if you do all of those things that he's asking you to do. Like, things are really improving, really picking up for you energetically, I think. And there's just a lot of things, you know, because when I say blessings, or when I say there's great things on the way to you or being awakened within you, you know, it's not always like a physical thing, you know. Sometimes it's more spiritual than anything what they're talking about, but it's like this spiritual alignment is the biggest blessing ever, because as long as you're spiritually aligned with your highest self, then you are able to attract any and everything that you ever wanted physically, right? So that's why he's saying to just focus on this bond and communicating with the divine, and just heed the warnings that they give you when it does come to these people who are getting this karma and feeling like shit, you know, and wanting to attack others just because they feel like shit. What's dominance and warning? We got mimicry, okay? Like I said, I said they copying you, but it's for the cause, you know. Like, it doesn't matter who tries to copy you or mimic you at the end of the day, you know. I do talk about this copycat energy quite a bit, but I mean, it's there. We're going to talk about it. We're going to address it, but that doesn't mean that we're giving it power. It has no power. Mimicry gets them nowhere but to a deeper understanding of why they copy other people and who they really truly are. Eventually they get tired. They get to a place where they're tired of holding up this facade or holding up this mask. And I think that this is where the people that are getting karma on the outside of you are at. You know, they're just tired of holding up this mask and tired of copying and mimicking other people, realizing that that in itself is taking up a lot of their energy, and they just really don't have time for that. So like, they're kind of being forced to look within. Okay, what's warning and bond? Yeah, we got the sacred space. Okay, so you're forcing people into their own sacred space just by them trying to copy you or trying to, you know, establish some sort of dominance over you. It just backfires in a way that brings divine healing, and that is a big part of your job. Okay, what's bond and communication? We got grief. Okay, so people are going through grief. They're grieving you, grieving their past, grieving their choices and decisions that they've made along the way. But I think that this leads to them awakening more abundance within themselves, and it all came from them observing you. You are instigating growth. It's like, he can't say this enough, right? I feel like I said that a lot of times, okay? We got distance and insight, you know? So it's like, even if you're at a distance from certain people, you know, they feel exposed by you. They feel like this light, this direction that you've chosen to walk, you know? Like, I mean, at first I think it made them want to battle. Some people could turn to influences about it, you know? But I think some of them really look at you and they think like, you know, wow, you're so lucky or so different to be able to have changed your life in the ways that you've changed it. And they want a piece of that luck and freedom that they feel like you've stepped into, you know? So just keep doing what you're doing, which is just being amazing and shining and working toward your goals. Continue to be career focused, but don't over focus on your career to where you're not enjoying life or to where your career becomes something that starts to burden you, okay? What's dominance, mimicry, and warning? We got Gaian awakening, okay? Preparing relocation and ascension. So you're being prepared for some sort of like relocation, okay? Some sort of ascension to a higher level of being and thinking, okay? What's warning, bond, and sacred space? We got celestial assistance. So you're receiving a lot of celestial assistance with this when it does come to like heeding your warnings or increasing your bond with the divine, or, you know, increasing the time that you spend in your sacred space, or, you know, to the way that you get other people around to going deeper within themselves and uncovering more within themselves. What's bond, grief, and communication? We got wisdom, okay? So continue to share that beautiful wisdom. You are extremely psychic. You have a very strong intuition. And I think you're very honest. Like I said before, you stand in your truth. You uphold that. You uphold your values and beliefs. And this is why you will be successful, because of the confidence and because of how lucky you are, how you know what makes you lucky or why you're able to be so attractive. What's Gaian awakening and celestial assistance? We got awakening, okay? So this is what I'm saying. You just going around like, you just going around like red pilling the shit out of people, you know, but like on accident. Just because you naturally radiate like this ancient knowledge and you trigger these soul memories within other people that sparks some sort of friction within them that eventually turns into a connection that they have with themselves, or an understanding of why they feel exiled, alone, and lonely, or feel like shit, or whatever. You break the illusion of separation for other people. You point out within them where they feel disconnected or why they feel isolated, okay? And so you're very important. The job that you do, it's amazing. You work with the Galactic Council, okay? You receive galactic guidance. You have a very powerful, strong family, a strong star family. You receive a lot of assistance, and it's all because of the way that you cooperate with the divine. So please don't stop what you're doing. What's celestial assistance and wisdom? We got exploration. It says boldness, unknown, and limitless, okay? So maybe embracing more of this idea of you being limitless, okay? Of you just walking intuitively, you know, because he's pointing at the fact that we always have to know what's going on. We always have to be so aware, you know, and it's just like sometimes you just have to be in the moment and you just have to enjoy your life, go through different situations with different people, and just know you're spreading and you're seeding light no matter what you do, you know. I'm also hearing no matter what you say or what you do, when I'm alone, I'd rather be with you. Fuck these other niggas, I'll be right by your side till 3005. Hold up, you know. So giving me this energy of like Archangel Michael's always by your side, you know. There's never a time where he's not with you, not supporting you, not helping you or pushing you toward being the best version of yourself, you know. Really proud of you for being able to protect yourself, you know. You need a lot less help from him now, and he still does way more than, you know, what he has to do out of love, you know. That's kind of how he's putting it, okay? What's Gaian awakening and celestial assistance? We got friendship, okay? It says fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams, you know. So you could be about to have like some sort of soul family connections, or to connect to a lot more people that you are meant to be connected to, that are going to support you and fulfilling your dreams as you support them, you know? What's celestial assistance, wisdom, and exploration? We got lost and found, okay, which was at the bottom of the deck at the beginning, okay? So maybe something you lost, maybe like certain energies that you feel like you lost, you know, from past lives or whatever. These things are coming in. It says what was once lost is about to be found thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never realized were lost, you know. So definitely a lot of beautiful things within yourself that are being like found, you know, as you like awaken other people. And it's so crazy because like the way you awaken other people is just so natural. Like that's kind of the energy it keeps giving me. Like it's just something that you just do. And sometimes it looks like people hating you, people feeling like shit around you, you being constantly surrounded with people who are like, you know, who seem not happy or who seem miserable, but it's just the way that you work. Those are the kinds of people that you were called to work with, you know. And he's giving me the energy of like Yeshua, you know. Like people came from far and wide, people with ailments, people with issues, people that needed healing. They naturally gravitated toward Yeshua. And this is the same way that people are with you. So you have to kind of like remain conscious and aware of that, okay? And to trust your path and to know that like no one gets put on your path for no reason, even if it's just for you to see what you don't like or what you don't need in your energy, even if it's just to teach you how to set a specific type of boundary or how to pray in a certain kind of way, or like whatever. Like there's so many little things that we pull from each other as people, even karmic people, okay? What's friendship and lost and found? We got go outside, okay? So don't be afraid to go outside and enjoy your life, okay? I'm hearing we outside, okay? So like, please enjoy your life, okay? Have fun. But also take the time to like attune to nature, ground yourself, you know, go to the beach, go to the park. Like summer is about to be over, okay? It's gonna be getting all cold and we're gonna be trapped in the house all the way until next summer. I mean, kinda, sorta, because I'm never trapped in the house, right? But enjoy the weather while it's still warm and while it's still summer. You know, I know school started back, you know, for you parents, and there's not really that much free time, but like find it, okay? Put some time in there for play, for you to be able to like dance with life, because before you knew about all of this, you attracted things very effortlessly, you know. When we're young, we pull in whatever we want. We be making all of this money and we be having all of these different things going on because we're very excited about life. We're curious, we're going with the flow, and we're not like stressing or worrying or, you know, creating all of these things for us to think about that bog down our mind and our heart, you know. So just try to get yourself into that inner child energy, and I think things will go a lot smoother for you at this time, okay? It says it's time to go outside. Tune into the powerful peace of nature wherever you are and feel at one with your habitat, okay? And then we got the Ace of Chalices right here at the bottom of this deck, baby, because your cup is destined to overflow, and that's what it's doing. Your cup is overflowing properly. Your energies are aligned, so don't worry about anything. And most importantly, you are extremely protected, but you are a master of protecting yourself at this point, okay? Could like, I'm hearing overprotected. You could like overprotect yourself sometimes, okay, due to things that you still may need to release within your energy, you know. But I think that over time these things are healing, you know. I don't think that this is something that you don't know. I think at times it can be healthy, but sometimes it can kind of get in the way of you creating new connections or stepping into new opportunities. So just be careful with that, you know. Don't overprotect your don't overprotect yourself to the detriment of yourself, okay? What's the final thought on this? Because I'm getting all tongue-tied. We got the Seven of Stakes, okay? Or the Seven of Wands. While I'm talking about you and protecting yourself, you know? I feel like, you know, it's like this lady, it's like a reflection of her, right? She's sitting here and she's looking at herself, and it's like she can see herself clearly and she can see all the conflict and drama going on around her, but she still chooses to stay focused on herself and to not be focused on all the drama, you know? This is stakes. I think I passed it. Yeah, I did. What is it? The 7? Okay, so it says, power, you have it, others don't. This bothers them. Everything I said in a nutshell at the beginning, right? It says power. You have it, others don't. This bothers them. The 7 of Stakes is a helpful reminder to continue living at full power, but to be aware that other people may view your success as a threat. You may find yourself having to defend your feelings, your expertise, or your talent. So be prepared to advocate for yourself, okay? And that's why he kept talking about like how you don't go back on your beliefs or what it is that you represent. Like that is your power at this time, you know. You standing very firm, very strong in your connection that you have with God and the way that you choose to live your life, and knowing that you do things in a way that is right for you and that you don't really owe anyone else any explanations about who you are or what it is that you have to offer or how it is that you help people or what it is that you do. Like you really don't owe these people on the outside of you who are kind of feeling like shit any explanations. And it's like at the end of the day, you help them a lot more than you should, and you help them a lot more than them in this energy right now would help you, so like not to beat yourself up or whatever when you have to stand your ground or you have to be firm with someone, just to assert yourself in your divine journey or along your divine plan that you're meant to be walking. They can't hear your guidance, so they're not going to understand it all the time. And to know that as long as you're following your guidance and not allowing people to like talk you out of what you believe or who you are, that you're actually helping them and leading by example to them, whether they want to follow the example or not. So in reverse, it says, don't take coaching personally. If you're lucky enough to have someone, a stuffy yet lovable British librarian perhaps, helping you master your talents, listen to what they have to say. Corrections aren't a criticism, and you'll be better equipped to save the world if you embrace feedback and use it to improve, okay? So also this energy of like I said before, not questioning yourself, really trusting in the guidance that you hear, in the way that you're walking, in the intuitive nudges and downloads that you get, okay? They are extremely accurate, and them telling you what you need to change does not mean you have to have this pity party for yourself or go into this energy of grief or feel like you're doing everything wrong just because you got your course corrected, Like, change is constant, okay? Things are going to change, but know that everything that changes is changing for the better for you, okay? So, that's long, too. Both of these readings were hella long today. But, we love when they talk to us, okay? I hope you guys have a happy, fabulous, wonderful, and amazing day, that you got something that you need out of this, and I will see you later. Bye!